Tonight, vaccine distribution continues, how it's making its way to residents and staff in long-term care facilities. Plus, help coming, how hundreds of millions of dollars from the latest COVID relief bill could have an impact right here in the Northland. Plus, a teenager is dead and 3 suspects are on the run after an overnight shooting near Cloquet. We have all the details.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Matt. Kristen is off tonight. Thanks for joining us. Long-term care residents and staff have fought an uphill battle during the pandemic. But today, what has been one of Minnesota's most vulnerable populations started getting vaccinated against COVID-19. CBS 3's Leanne Valdez spoke to the administrator at Duluth's Benedictine Living Community Center and explains what this means for them.
A lot of emotions Monday as staff and residents wait to get the highly anticipated COVID-19 vaccine at the Benedictine Living Community Center. It all started at 9 a.m. One by one, residents and staff started getting the Moderna vaccine. The Benedictine Living Community Center got 300 vaccines to administer. They say they should have enough for all residents and staff. This vaccine does require 2 doses. The second dose will be administered on January 25th. The administrator of Benedictine Living Community Center, Brian Paddock, says it's a great first step to the end of the coronavirus pandemic.
Our residents deserve the opportunity to spend more time with their loved ones. Our staff deserve the ability to have some respite and hopefully be able to relax a little bit.
Benedictine Living Community Center has overall had 55 residents test positive for COVID-19 and 79 staff. Paddock adds that even though the vaccine has been proved to be highly effective, they're not able to dial back those visitation guidelines until community cases go down as well.
All right, thanks, Leanne. And here's a quick look at the Duluth Hospital's COVID-19 vaccination efforts so far. As of this morning, St. Luke's had vaccinated almost 1,200 healthcare workers. That's about 43% of their healthcare workers' first doses. The hospital has 540 Pfizer vaccine doses on hand and expects to receive 2,900 more tomorrow. Meanwhile, at Essentia Health, they expected to surpass 2,000 vaccinations today. Spokespeople say they have been vaccinating long-term care staff and residents at their Essentia-owned facilities. They say essential workers like firefighters and police are not yet on their schedule, but they're equipped to store Pfizer vaccine at its recommended temperatures. And Peter's here for our first look at the weather tonight. Peter, more of that cold weather we saw this morning on tap?
Yeah, it seems like it could be colder tonight than it was last night. So we're definitely going to want to bundle up. Last night, temperatures fell back into the single digits for most on either side of 0, say. So if you take a look at the map right now, you can see that temperatures last night fell back at -6 in Big Fork, -13 in Baudette, -2 in Bemidji. It was 1 degree for us here at Duluth International, 5 degrees in Superior, as well as 5 in Solon Springs and Ashland. I think we're going to be a few degrees cooler than that. I think most of us will hang out below that 0-degree mark tonight. Temperatures today rose up into the teens for most, 13 in Hibbing, 12 on top of the hill at Duluth International, 16 in Solon Springs, 16 as well in Ashland, and 17 in Hayward. 20 degrees in Ironwood as well as Watersmeet, Michigan. Right now, from Canal Park, 9 degrees with those mostly clear skies overhead. That means that's going to allow those temperatures to fall back even further as we head through the rest of the night tonight. And as you can see, right now, temperatures are already below 0 for some of us. -5 in Hibbing, -10 already in International Falls, -4 in Baudette. What I'm calling for us here in the Twin Ports, -8 tonight with partly cloudy skies overhead. It's definitely a cold night ahead, but we have some more snow heading our way. I'll break it all down coming up.
Thanks, Peter. The timber industry has gotten very little aid during the pandemic, but that changed last night when President Trump signed the new COVID relief bill. The industry will now receive $200 million as a part of this bill. This is huge for the Minnesota logging industry, as many loggers have taken a hit locally as paper mills such as Duluth's Verso, which closed earlier this year and is yet to reopen. Ray Higgins with the Minnesota Timber Producers Association says the money will help make up for some of the loss in sales to the mills.
When you don't have trees to deliver or a place to deliver your timber, you're not generating revenue. So this, and not able to make those payments. So this money, in that sense, would be able to help folks stay in business.
The bill also includes $380 million for the timber sale program in national forests like the Superior and Chippewa National Forests. Tonight, the search continues for 3 suspects after a 16-year-old was shot dead near Cloquet. Authorities say it happened around 1:20 this morning at a home on the Fond du Lac Reservation. That's where we find CBS 3's Ryan Compa live for us tonight. Ryan, what do we know at this point?
Yeah, Tony, scene obviously a lot more active this morning when we arrived on scene, but I'll take a look. Let you take a look behind me here. Just 2 St. Louis County Sheriff Squad cars remain on the scene here. Now, authorities tell us the teen's body was found outside the home behind me, and we're still waiting to learn who he is or what led up to the shooting that took place earlier this morning. Here's what St. Louis County authorities are able to share so far. When they arrived on scene this morning, authorities found 2 adult women inside the home. Authorities interviewed them and learned 3 other people left before law enforcement got there. The search continues for those 3 people tonight. Their names are Joseph Forencam, Trey Shabiash, and Little Fawn Forencam. If you know where they might be, you're asked to call 911 or the number on your screen. That number also on our website, CBS3Duluth.com. Now, authorities have not said how these 3 people are connected to the shooting or have not shared a possible motive to the shooting. And also the identity of the male that was killed, also not identified. We'll continue to update as we learn more from the scene here in Cloquet. But for now, Tony, I'll send things back to you.
Yeah, be sure to stick with CBS. We'll bring you those details as soon as we learn that. Brian Compa live for us tonight. Thanks, Ryan. 4 house fires in as many days. That's what the Duluth Fire Department has been dealing with over the holiday weekend. Now they're sharing tips to keep you and your family safe. Experts say they typically see more house fires in the winter months. Most of the fires DFD has responded to recently have been electrical in nature. To avoid that happening to you, you should make sure your space heater is relatively new and there are no clothes or curtains near it. Firefighters also warned against other unsafe ways to heat your home.
Sometimes we actually do have people that will try to use their gas range or propane range to heat their house. That's a big no-no, number one, because of carbon monoxide issues. But number 2, you've got an open flame inside of your house at that point.
You should also make sure your smoke detectors are updated and shovel your walkways and fire hydrants. Firefighters want you to make sure fire hydrants around your house are shoveled out and accessible in case of an emergency. If you're looking to start the new year off with a new job, the City of Duluth is looking to help. A number of organizations have teamed up to offer free training in some very high-demand skill sets. That includes IT help, nursing, and truck driving classes. Elena Fauché, the director of Duluth's Workforce Development Office, says connecting people with in-demand careers has been very important during the pandemic. Classes start in January, and we have information on how to sign up on our website. In what would normally be the busiest time of the year, Minnesota's ice rinks have found their doors closed. That's due to the latest round of statewide shutdowns to curb COVID. Fogarty Arena in the Twin Cities, which is the home of ice for Blaine and Spring Lake Parks hockey teams and curling leagues, put out a call for help to stay open. And as WCCO's Marielle Mose found out, skaters are finding ice time across state lines.
It's really heartwarming to know that people are coming out when we need them.
A few days before Christmas, Fogarty Ice Arena in Blaine made a plea for help.
Raise a little money. If you can donate $1, anything helps.
The arena put out this Save Fogarty campaign video asking for donations to keep the arena afloat while it's shut down during a traditional time to hit the ice.
This would be our busiest time for sure. Youth and high school hockey would be going gangbusters right now. And curling as well. Leagues would be going 5 nights a week.
The money they're raising would simply let them keep the heat on so the pipes don't freeze while their doors stay shut.
We're about a third down on our budget. So this money is really meant to just be a bridge to help us get through this current shutdown, get to our next PPP loan.
Completely different story across the river. Here at Hudson Sports and Civic Center, they're having a record year in ice rental sales.
It's not as easy to get ice anymore, that's for sure.
Hudson Hockey girls varsity coach Matt Sapora says they're seeing an influx of Minnesota hockey players coming over to Wisconsin to rent out ice time in their arenas. A rep with the arena says parents and kids are filling the rink for free skate or private coaching. No full Minnesota teams are coming to their arenas to practice. It's led to a huge profit for Hudson Sports and Civic Center.
We're still a nonprofit, so I know we're going to put that money to reinvest it back into the rink as it is, and the team and the kids and everything too. So that's always good to see.
And the players and staff here are happy to welcome the out-of-state skaters.
Hockey's hockey, and it's the same on each side of the river for us.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, if you traveled for the holidays, health experts say you should quarantine like you may have been exposed. More details next.
And it's another cool night ahead, but we have some snow as well in that 7-day forecast. I'll break it all down, how much we get coming up.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 6 with Kristen Bucky, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3. Watch Jeopardy at 4:30, followed by CBS 3 Live at 5 on Live, local, CBS 3.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Who am I? Wow, is that really me?
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes.
Well, this new year, you can celebrate knowing you look your best with Plexiderm.
Lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video that the viewers can watch while you and I talk. And you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock. And what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes in as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. And I did this to my father. We were at home, and we were screaming. 4 minutes, 34 seconds, completely gone.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. These lines bother me. They really do. And this is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It feels great. Looks even better.
I'm Neela. I'm 61 years old. I'm a professional personal trainer. It's so important to be in good health and to be fit and take care of yourself. How it makes you feel inside is amazing. Plexiderm, seriously, it fixes all that. It makes you feel as good outside as you do inside. Honest to God, it's amazing. There's nothing there. Like, the bags are gone.
And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. So it targets all those problem areas.
So this would be a daily thing, or just when you want to, like, get rid of the bags? And
yeah, it absolutely could be a daily thing. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger, this is it.
This new year is the best time to get Plexiderm for only $14.95 and see it work for yourself after your first application. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
How can you show appreciation and say thanks to our area retail workers? While all gifts are appreciated, here is what helps keep us safe. The greatest gift of all. First, don't shop if you're not feeling well. Stay home and ask friends or family to help you. Keep your trips to a minimum. Pick up 2 weeks of supplies at a time if possible. Wash your hands before you come in and wear a cloth face cover. You can use a mask or a bandana. If possible, keep those cute kids at home and don't touch things you don't plan on buying. Keep your cash in your piggy bank and pay with your debit or credit card. Finally, try not to touch your face and be sure to wash your hands when you get home. Thank you for your help in creating a safer community.
It is the question that matters the most. ¿Dónde está? That takes you behind the story. Robert. It drives everything we do. It is the foundation of trust. Who did all of this? And the truth that propels us forward.
What did you make of that?
It is the question. One word, 3 letters long. And without it, our purpose,
that's news,
and our freedom fade. This is why.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS 3. CBS 3 weather is brought to you by Hearing Wellness Center.
Definitely a cold one out there today. Temperatures rose up to 12 degrees. That's all at Duluth International. Average for this time of year, 20 degrees. So we were a good 8 degrees below average for most of us. The good news is, as we head through the rest of this week, we begin to return to average as we head towards the new year. But we still have another cold night ahead. And you can see temperatures are already dipping below zero for most of us. You can see out west, we're talking about -10 already in International Falls, -6 in Big Fork, -4 in Baudette, 10 in La Pointe, 5 already in Ashland, 5 in Sullivan Springs as well, and then 5 degrees in Superior, 9 degrees down by the lake down here for us. And wind chills, we're already beginning to see those. That's an issue as well. Wind chills are sitting in basically below zero for most of us right now. -13, the real feel for us here in the Twin Ports. -5 in Hibbing. -10 in International Falls. -7 in Big Fork. -12 in Grand Rapids. Down in Wisconsin, 5 in Sullivan Springs. 10 in Hayward, as well as 10 degrees in Siren. So a cold night ahead That is for sure. So take a look at satellite radar as we zoom way out towards Colorado. That's our next snowmaker right there. That's the Colorado low that's going to begin to work its way up into the region as we head through the rest of the night tonight and into the day tomorrow. That's why the National Weather Service has issued a winter weather advisory for most of us that will stay in place through the day on Wednesday. So timing it all out for you, we start off the day tonight with mostly clear skies overhead. That means temperatures fall back below zero for most of us. That's cooler than we were last night. So say anywhere between -5 and between -15 is what we're going to be dealing with for actual air temperatures. As we head towards Tuesday morning, some clouds begin to gradually fill in as we head towards Tuesday morning, and that's going to begin to work its way through the rest of the day on Tuesday. And by Tuesday, 2 o'clock, we're all mostly cloudy out there. The snow is just beginning to knock on our door out towards the Dakotas. That's all going to begin to spread as we head through the rest of the night on Tuesday. Towards Tuesday, 9 o'clock, you can see snow is widespread out there for most of us. It doesn't last all that long, though, because as we head through the rest of the night on Tuesday and towards Wednesday morning, we clear things out by Wednesday morning. By Wednesday, 3 o'clock, we're just left with mostly cloudy skies overhead. So how much snow are we talking about? Basically, most of us are looking at, say, anywhere between 3 and 5 in this shade of light blue. The area further north you go, we're talking about 2 to 4 inches up there. The further south you go towards I-35 and, say, the Twin Cities, that's where we could be looking at, say, between 4 and 8 inches of snow. The other thing that we're talking about is how cold we are. We have wind chills tonight. We're talking about real field temperatures are, I say, anywhere between -15 and -20 as you're waking up tomorrow morning. And then it really doesn't light up all that much for the day on Tuesday. As you can see, most of us are only feeling like the single digits for most of us. 2 in Duluth for the real feel, 2 in Hibbing, 3 as well in Ely, 7 in Ashland, 7 in Superior, 8 degrees in Siren. So a cold day for Tuesday, where the winds really begin to light up for the day on Wednesday. Forecast for tonight, temperatures cool back into the single digits above and below zero. Temperatures tomorrow rise up into the teens, close to the 20 with those snow showers overhead. And here's a look at that 7-day forecast. We have that snow threat for Tuesday into Wednesday. We dry things out for the end of the week, and we warms things up as we head towards 2021. Tony?
On there. Thanks, Peter. The U.S. has surpassed 19 million cases of the virus as millions of Americans return home this weekend after traveling for the holidays or gatherings with friends and families. That has health experts worried there could be another big surge in coronavirus cases around the corner. Gabriela Bacara explains what doctors say people should do when they get home.
Did you travel or attend a gathering this Christmas? If yes, UW Health's Dr. Jeff Pothoff says act like you had high-risk exposure and quarantine.
For a minimum of 7 to 10 days, that's where the biggest risk is. If you wanted to be as safe as you could be, 14 days.
That means stay home. If you need to go out in public, wear a mask and stay distanced.
At that, 7 to 10 day mark, you might want to go get tested to see if you are now the asymptomatic, spreader of COVID-19.
Pothoff says taking a test without waiting is more likely to show a false negative, giving people false hope that it's okay to spend New Year's with others.
It's just really tricky to say that a negative test result, especially in someone who doesn't have any symptoms, is so reassuring that you're not taking on any risk. You maybe take on less risk than if you hadn't got tested at all.
Doctors will be watching COVID-19 numbers very closely after the holidays.
Now we wait for, the 2 weeks after the holiday to see, did we dodge a bullet like we did at Thanksgiving?
Because although Dane County saw slight improvement after Thanksgiving,
decreased number of cases, hospitalizations had gone down, there was vaccine news.
The healthcare system isn't in the clear just yet.
We still have people in our community who are not getting healthcare services that they would otherwise get. Their procedures are postponed if they're not emergent. That's not normal. We shouldn't be okay with that.
Dr. Pothoff says COVID-19 numbers can be deceivingly low around the holidays because of lack of testing. Still ahead in sports, high school sports are a go, but not without some restrictions. Kelly's in next to break down what athletes can expect.
Arctic Cat snowmobile sale happening now at RJ Sport & Cycle.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
The COVID-19 pandemic is the worst healthcare crisis of our lifetime. Hospitals, care centers, and their staff are overwhelmed, and it's getting worse.
By now, we all know someone who's been affected by the virus. But there is hope. Vaccines are coming and getting closer every day. But while we wait for relief, you need to do your part. Wear a mask, wash your hands, and maintain your distance. It's for now, not forever.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzz warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I don't think any other year is ever going to be like 2020. I never thought that I would go through something like this ever in my life. This pandemic's not a isolated thing to our country or to our state or to our city. This is something that's affecting the world. And that just shows really how interconnected we all are. And I think that's why news is so important, because news is kind of like that lifeline to kind of bring that information out and bring us all together.
Watch Jenna and Caitlin in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m.
Hi, I'm Matt Hunter, president of your local United Way. Head of the Lakes United Way fights for the basic needs, education, financial stability, and health of every person in every community that we serve. We fund more than 70 local nonprofit programs in our region. Now more than ever, our communities need your support. Invest in your community. Give where you live. Join us and live united. Head of the Lakes United Way. Give, advocate, volunteer. HLUnitedWay.org/donate.
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to CBS3. Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
The verdict on high school sports is that they will resume in January. Practices are set to begin on January 4th for both hockey and basketball. However, athletes will be required to wear masks. Today, the Minnesota Department of Health released an update in guidelines for winter sports amid the coronavirus pandemic. This is already mandated in the state of Wisconsin. Face coverings will be required for hockey and basketball players. Athletes in cheerleading, gymnastics, swimming and diving, as well as wrestling, will be allowed to temporarily remove their masks while performing certain tasks. We have much more on that mandate on our website, CBS3Duluth.com. It's been a week and a few days since UMD men's hockey played their final game of the NCHC bubble. As quickly as they began, they are back to work this week. First game out of the bubble is just 5 days away. UMD takes on St. Cloud State in a back-to-back pair of weekend series. They start on the road in St. Cloud on Saturday. UMD remains at the number 4 spot in this week's USCHO poll. The University of Minnesota remained in the top spot this week, grabbing 36 first-place votes and 795 points. UMD follows Boston College and the University of North Dakota. The Bulldogs carry a 5-2-2 record this season so far. Almost all games will be on My 9 Sports except for Friday's first home game of the season, which will be on the CBS Sports Network on January 8th. Schedule is subject to change. Head to CBS3Duluth.com for a complete broadcast schedule. After a fun 2-0 start, reality might be setting in for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The team will be without Karl Anthony Towns for the foreseeable future after he suffered a dislocated wrist. The injury happened in the fourth quarter of Saturday's win in Utah, where he landed awkwardly on this play. Fortunately, surgery isn't going to be required. Through 2 games, he was averaging 22 points and 11 rebounds per game. Towns did not play in yesterday's loss to the Lakers. Josh Okogie continues to also be questionable after sitting out of yesterday's game with an injury as well. The Packers left no room for doubt last night. One of their best wins of the season so far, 40-14 over the Tennessee Titans. It sets them up for at least the 3 seed in the NFC playoffs, with Seattle and New Orleans both winning. A win next week over the Bears, though, would seal the 1 seed and a first-round bye for Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers has led the Packers with the highest scoring offense in the league, along with Devontae Adams, who caught 3 touchdowns in the win last night.
I appreciate the way that he inspires me and our team. I just can't say enough great things about the kind of person that he is. And then when you have the talent, the ability, you can go out there and dominate the way he has. You know, I've said for so long that Charles was the best player that I played with, and Charles could dominate in a way I've never seen a nickel corner dominate before. It's probably time to start putting Devontae in that conversation, because he's that type of player. He's a special player.
Packers will face Chicago in the 3:25 game this Sunday in the season finale. A pair of college hoops matchups tonight as well. Wisconsin is just underway in Maryland. We'll have highlights from that. And this is the number you see next to Minnesota. The now ranked 8-1 Gophers host Michigan State later tonight. Bask in it while it lasts, Gopher fans, because it's probably not going to last. That's just my Minnesota pessimism over here. That's going to do for sports. We'll have more here back tonight at 10. I'll send it over to a bigger pessimist of Minnesota sports, Tony Matt. Tony?
It comes with age, Kelly. Don't worry. Tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, the timber industry has gotten very little aid during the pandemic, but that changed last night when President Trump signed the new COVID relief bill. Tonight, we hear from the Minnesota Timber Producers Association on how they hope the new stimulus will help their industry. And before we go, a fascinating discovery in centuries-old ruins. Archaeologists have unearthed an ancient snack bar in the ruins of Pompeii. Experts say this is the first time finding a complete example of a Thermopylaeum. It's a hot food and drink shop that would serve the equivalent of ancient street food to hungry Romans. It was adorned with colored frescoes depicting animals that were likely on the menu. And get this, traces of 2,000-year-old food that included pork, fish, snails, and beef. Who would have thought, Peter, 2,000 years ago, we loved fast food just as much as we do now?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, crazy. Is the cold weather going to stick around?
Yeah, it's cold tonight. Temperatures fall back into, say, the sub-zero teens as well as sub-zero 20s. Then we have that snow threat for Tuesday into Wednesday that we're going to want to keep an eye on.
All right, thanks, Peter. Have a great night. We'll see you at 10.